We're starting a holiday hoops marathon in the Big East on FS1 from Providence, Rhode Island. A pair of teams at 10-2 on the year, both 1-0 in conference play, and they're in the Christmas spirit at the end. Santa has even come early, as we got Big East basketball for you on FS1. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm John Phantom. My partner is Donnie Marshall, and welcome to Rhode Island. These two teams riding some momentum into this one, and for Butler, some unique circumstances. In the spirit of the holiday season, planes, trains, automobiles, they had plane mechanical issues last night, so they flew in this morning, got off the plane 9:30 a.m., and here they are.
Yeah, it's like those AAU days for the Butler guys today, but Thad Matta had a complete teardown this summer. He's got veterans, he's got some grown men. We'll see how they do with those air legs, I guess you call them, the jet lag legs this morning.
We'll see against this Providence team, which is coming off a statement win over Marquette. Let's take a look at our starting lineup, sponsored by Jeep. There's only one, Posh Alexander, a familiar face of the Big East, from St. John's to Butler, now leading them. And for the Friars, Donnie, Devin Carter's playing at a high level.
He really is. He worked so hard this summer on his three-point shooting, and obviously he's always been a leader. It's in his DNA. But he's also led on both ends of the floor, defensively, offensively, and also in the locker room for Kim English. And you called it. On the other side, in my opinion, this is a great situation for a guy like Posh Alexander. Thad Matta said this summer, this is his team. I want him to run it. I want him to be confident that he can go out there and be himself.
Our officials, Brian O'Connell, Tony Chiazza, Evan Burrows. Providence in the home whites, Butler in their new alternate grays. And the tip belongs to the 10-2 Dogs, who many believe have been the surprise of the Big East.
Yeah, I think they have found a way to really put those veterans together and make the game simple. They like each other. Talking to their staff, Mike Pegues, one of the best assistant coaches in all of college basketball. Talked to him earlier, said they enjoy playing together. I think when you get older, John, the clock is ticking on you.
Bryce Hopkins attacking. Oduro comes up with the offensive rebound.
Yeah, Bryce Hopkins wants to see those balls start to go down for him.
Ticket game starts right where he left off.
He loves that right corner. And it really does a nice job of staying spaced and allowing his bigs to, when they dig that rebound out, to find him. And he really has been the ticket for Providence so far.
Alexander off 5 threes earlier this week against Marquette, 18 points. Carter was the other lead scorer. Here's Jaden Pierre. What a start for Providence.
Yeah, ball is popping, and that's one of the things that Thad Matta said they want to try to cut down, those transition, and then the secondary break. Just ball comes down, defense gets set, and then that extra pass. You got to really cover the guys, run them off that three-point line.
Alexander, Carter shut him down at first, and then a denial by Oduro. Pass was for Hopkins, but he didn't see it coming.
Yeah, this is another situation where you got guys who can score the ball and guys who can defend. Devin Carter had his way with Tyler Kolek against Marquette Tuesday.
Hopkins playing bully ball with Telford.
I think that's what you do against a Butler team is 7-8 seconds into that shot clock, you got to get a bucket. I think Butler and Thad Matta's system, they're too good defensively to allow them to get you 15, 16, 20 seconds into that shot clock and try to search for a bucket.
This Butler team comes in here having won 7 in a row. Their longest winning streak in 4 years, but Providence has taken that right out of them to start. A turnover. Davis from way downtown. Alexander with the offensive board. Posh Alexander, and a cold start for this Butler team. Hopkins into Oduro. Oduro looking for a foul.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where coaches have to be careful. You don't want to complain too much on one end because they're going to be calling the same way at the other end. We have a great crew calling this game today of our officials. Brian O'Connell, Tony Chiazza, and Evan Burrow. They're just 3 of the best, not just in our conference, but in the country.
Kim English in year 1 at the helm at Providence. We got a chance to sit down with him for a while this morning, and he talked about the focus of his team, the maturity he saw from his team earlier this week.
And you need that when you have ranked teams coming into your building. You know, you have to understand who you're playing against and not worry so much about the number in front of their name, but the names on the back of those jerseys. And you know, Kolek and Iguodaro, those guys are really good players. Jones, and they handled it well.
Butler 0 for 9 from the floor. With 10 on the shot clock, here's Brooks, the Michigan State transfer, and Gaines sent that back. Hopkins.
And defensively, they're so good, Providence, historically on a string, that those block shots turn into turnovers essentially in transition.
Telfer can't connect. Hopkins up on the housetop for Bryce Hopkins. Timeout, Butler.
Well, Providence doing the job defensively, and that's what Kim English told us before the game. Our identity is on the defensive end first, and that identity is creating opportunities on the offensive end. Providence stingy early here at the AMP. 12-0 Friars.
The 12 days of Christmas have apparently arrived in Providence, Rhode Island. The Friars have shot out of a cannon, Donnie Marshall.
12 days of Christmas and 12 unanswered for Providence as well. And it starts really on the defensive end for them. Here's a nice block by Ticket Gaines. And immediately one dribble. J. Pierre throws it up. Another pass. The ball's barely hitting the floor in transition. Look at that. Doesn't even hit the floor. That entire play from start to finish. This is what Kim English told us about his team before the game when we were in the locker room with him is, you know, we get off to a good start defensively. It opens up everything on the offensive end. And right now, it's 12-0. Butler's 0 for 12. And on the season, they shoot almost 50% from the field. That ball has to move a little bit for them, John. It can't just stick. Can't shoot 30-footers. I know what you're trying to do. This is not a game where you try to take the easy way out and leave the excuse to, oh, we had plane issues. You're big boys. You're here. You're in the building. You got to step up and play if you're Butler.
Those plane issues you're referring to, if you're just jumping into the action, Butler was supposed to fly last night, actually yesterday afternoon around 2 o'clock, and then waited about 5 hours to see if those mechanical issues could correct themselves. They did not. Luckily, a Board of Regents member at Butler University was able to get them a fleet, 3 small private planes to get the team out here by 9:30 a.m.
I misheard that. I thought they said John Fanta lent us his plane. I guess I misheard that, John. Because I know you flew from here Tuesday to Toronto Wednesday and then back to, like, they could have borrowed your plane.
Donnie, I only have a sleigh. Clock down to 2. Screen turning, and you said it, the ball has to move. That is a foul, and it's on the Friars.
So as much as I respect screen, I respect Telford, I respect the bigs for Butler. You're not Joel Embiid, you're not Shaq. That ball has to move. It has to be a play that, the reason it has to move is the defense will move, and now you have an easier chance of getting to your comfort zone. One-on-one basketball against Providence, you just can't have it. It can't happen. It won't happen.
This is a Butler team averaging over 80 points per game. It's not like they can't score. Telford is off. That'll be a jump ball. The arrows with the Friars.
And in all fairness to the Butler players right now, one guy is trying to break the seal. You want to be that guy to kind of get your team going. So it's not really a selfish thing. It's maybe just a misdirection.
Thad Matta in his second stint at Butler, and how refreshing was it to talk with him this morning about how proud he is of this group.
Yeah, he has his guys. And I know in the portal sometimes you're picking through guys, and certain guys want to play for you, and they don't always tend to be your type of guys, quote unquote. Well, he told us he has his guys. He's got some veterans, guys who love the game, who hate to lose, You know, and they're here for more than for just to be on a new team. They want to win.
Gaines cannot miss.
Yeah, Ticket Gaines has really found a nice little niche for himself in those short corners.
Davis with the runner, and that gets Butler on the board.
I like that better than a 30-footer. I really do. You know, it's a higher percentage shot. Make the defense think about it a little bit.
Hopkins.
Bryce has got to see one of those go down. He's got really good touch. He's playing a little different role this year. Such a powerful player.
A different team with a stop. Brooks is able to hit that, and they get downhill a little bit.
Yeah, when you're not taking the ball out of the net, you can get your offense going and get into a little bit of a faster tempo.
Foul on Alexander.
Yeah, that's a good call by Evan Burrows. And listen, the officials know who they're officiating. They know that Posh Alexander is averaging over 2 steals a game. They know that he's aggressive defensively, but you know, you still have to play the game the right way. You know, and I think Devin Carter sold it a little bit, but it's a good call.
It's a rare foul for Butler. They're second in the country for the fewest fouls per game at only 12.
Yeah, that's telling you. And they're a good defensive team as well, so they're not quitting on this end of the floor.
7 on the shot clock. Josh Oduro has been a revelation.
You know, I know Ticket Gaines has made a 3 and Jay Pierre's made a 3, but the paint is where the weakness is at times when you're so worried about teams making 3s, and that's what that motto told us. We got to stop them in the paint, control that paint.
Over 60% of their points coming in the paint against Georgetown in the 10-point win earlier this week. Hopkins hoists again.
Got to see one go in. He's just one of those players, you root for him. You know, even though we have no dog in the race, you just root for him to make one of those. Hate seeing guys struggle from that deep.
Davis with the skip pass to Moore from the corner. There's Landon Moore.
I love Landon Moore's game. He's always on balance. He's got great form. Plays even keel. Never too high, never too low.
Oduro. Josh Oduro doing it all.
There's nothing you can do about that. And you saw that might have kind of looked towards the heavens when that one went down. You understand the guards from Providence are going to make those, but when the bigs start making them.
Moore heating up with back-to-back triples. He only averages 5 points per game.
Listen, his rookie year at St. Francis, he was an NEC Rookie of the Week 7 times. He can play.
To your point on Oduro, he had hit just 5 threes on the season.
I mean, when it rains, it pours.
Carter took a shot and is heading towards the bench. Well, he took a shot last game as well against Marquette. Was briefly out, holding the side of his head right now near his ear.
Yeah, just coming off of that handoff. You'll see Moore just stick that hand. He almost looks like a punch. Just trying to fight through Oduro's screen.
The ultimate fighter, Kim English, told us earlier today that he thinks Devin Carter's the most competitive kid he's ever coached. 4 on the shot clock here. 2 on the shot clock. Oduro.
Got it off.
All of a sudden, after the 15-0 Friars start, a chance for Butler to get within single digits 8 minutes in.
Move the ball, move your body if you're Butler right now. No standing still.
Screen with 8. Andre screen. Got it. And the foul. He'll go in the line for one more after this timeout.
It's a really nice job moving without the ball. This is a great opportunity for Butler now. Score when the clock is stopped, but screen showing a little bit of that post work. Butler.
Number 14, kid Bizlak, man, you're in him. In their shooters, off their Different drivers with high hands going under the ball screens. If it's a switch should be visible. Right?
Yeah, high hands. You know, sometimes you get a big lead and you forget about those fundamental things defensively. You know, hands come down a little bit. You give a guy a little bit more space. You know, this is a situation, if you're Providence at home, you got a team who you already illustrated had some playing issues. They get here. This is when you keep your foot on the gas. You know, that Providence got to a 15-0 start. Since then, Butler went 12-5. So Butler's starting to maybe get their legs under them, if you will, a little bit.
And here's another storyline now. Josh Oduro committed his second foul. Take a look at Butler's high success rate. Top 5 nationally at the free throw line. Screen couldn't hit this time, so that presses Rafael Castro into duty.
Now Thad digs into his bench just a little bit too to see what kind of energy he can get from those guys.
Hopkins, screen, shut it down. Now Castro, he's fouled.
And that's all you want from Castro. Energy, eat up some offensive rebounds. I mean, this is just an added bonus. An offensive rebound and then a foul on screen. Come off the bench for Oduro. This is exactly what your coach wants. Give him some good minutes as soon as you get in.
Dover, New Jersey native. Came into the program in 2021, so this year 3, stuck around. Could have transferred, but stayed loyal to Providence and Kim English. That was something that we talked at length about with Kim English today, was roster construction and how he put this thing together, how he's made it his own here with the Friars.
A lot to build off of, you know, also for Kim English.
Turnover.
What I like most about Kim is him mentioning the coaches who have been here before him. I think that shows just a great amount of respect, not only for the coaches, but for the game and the league itself.
Alexander took a shot as Duel finds Castro, and Castro is fouled. Posh Alexander's in some pain.
Duel, one of those guys as well that Kim English likes.
Officials will look at this, at that sequence from Duel.
Yeah, that's just a shoulder. I think that's a basketball play. Nothing really there. Like I was surprised they didn't look at the more on Carter hit to the face. I'm glad they didn't, because sometimes that takes a little bit of energy out of the game. It takes the air out of the building. But you know, they gotta get it right.
Evan Burrows will come over and chat with us. They're looking at a flagrant foul.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. Again, I got to give credit to our officiating crew. You know, these guys are now, one, they're trying to make the call the right call. They're trying to please the coaches and manage those personalities on the sidelines. But not only that, they got to deal with you and I over here. We need to, listen, we need the deets, man. Give us the information. And they come over and they let us know what they're looking at. I thought it was just a shoulder.
And it is. A little bit of acting as well.
Yeah, they tried to sell it. Hey, look, that's why you're Defensive Player of the Year at one point in your career. Is you got to be able not just to come up with steals, but you also have to show the officials that, hey, I'm doing what I'm in position, or that in that case out of position. Knows how to play this game at that end of the floor. Posh
Alexander. Thad Matta raved about him this morning.
I got to tell you, I give the guy, I want to say kid, but it feels like he's been around so long. You know, he's at St. John's, co-defensive player of the year, a rookie year. You know, that hadn't been done, I think, since an Allen Iverson, or there have only been a couple players to do it, Alonzo Mourning. And then he goes, they struggle. You know, you got a new coach come in. Then the next year they bring in a point guard over you, and Andre Curbelo, and now you have to deal with that. So, again, one of those great stories, Posh Alexander hanging in there, and now he's got a team to call his own with the right guy coaching him. Love this guy.
Brooks came off a screen. Offensive rebound by Thomas, and he's fouled.
Thomas's activity is it's contagious. He's got great athletic ability. He's one of those guys that you don't have to run a lot for, because at times, in a positive way, he's a second shot player because of that activity. Really nice job there. Keeping his eye on the ball is the key when it comes to offensive rebounding. Leads the team in rebounding at 18 points, 19 rebounds versus Buffalo earlier in December.
Jalen Thomas with the free throw miss, so one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. Butler 0 for 2 to start, and Thomas able to connect there. So a difference here as Castro commits his first foul. Josh Oduro, Providence's starting center, on the bench right now with 2. Just 9.5 minutes into this game. Duel looking for Castro.
I think that's a play you get with Castro, and you can't get with Oduro. Is a little bit more athletic Castro is.
Floyd. The rebound pulled down by the Bulldogs.
Love Corey Floyd, not having a great shooting year, but he really is doing the job defensively, so Kim English has to have him on the floor.
DJ Davis could not connect, and here comes Floyd.
He's another one of those guys for Providence, Floyd. He's going to get it going. And he's going to have a big game. He's going to start to feel that shooting touch like this guy right here.
Hopkins trying to get it going.
Yeah.
But he off that time.
Sometimes when you're struggling, John, you start to steer the ball a little bit instead of just let it go.
Do you go to the basket there, Donnie?
You gotta. I think that's trying to get the sense of the basket opening being larger for you when you see it go in.
Or even if you don't hit, you could get fouled, right?
Yeah, just anything to see that ball going through the basket. Free throw, layup, doesn't matter.
Pierre off to Floyd.
Yeah, really struggling this year. 19% or so coming into the day. But you got to shoot it. Kim English is a equal opportunity lender. He's like, if you're open, I don't care if you're struggling, you got to shoot it.
So there's that old school, new school. You've talked a lot about it with Kim English today. He doesn't mind playing someone for the rest of the first half if they've got 2 fouls. So he makes the move now. Josh Oduro on the floor for Providence with those 2 fouls.
Well, you get 5. So you're allotted 5 fouls. So
Brooks hits it. And Butler, after falling behind 15-0, has since outscored Providence 15-7 to get back into it. Oduro back in the game. Turns. Josh Oduro, the glue guy for the Friars.
He's such a veteran. I think the thing that stands out most to me about Josh Oduro is his patience when he catches the ball in the post. You can just see that he's played a lot of games, scored some points, and has seen a lot of different defenses. Takes his time, has such a patience and a poise down there before making his move.
DJ Davis had that altered slightly. Gaines again. Not this time. Brooks got a piece of it.
Yeah, premeditated. You knew that ball was going up before he even caught it.
Alexander is fouled.
And again, a miss. And Butler starts their transition. Now they're at the foul line. I mean, they're right back in this game after that start.
It was fun talking with Thad Matta about this kid this morning. He said, look, I'm from Hoopeston, Illinois. Posh is from New York. And he goes, this morning we're sitting across from each other on the plane, and we're laughing, we're telling stories. It's like we found a bond, a friendship, and they keep it real with each other.
Yeah. I think obviously the bond comes from basketball, but the mutual respect of what Thad has done as a coach over his career, and obviously the things that Posh Alexander has done as a player.
0 for 2 for Alexander from the line. This Butler team, one of their strengths has been free throw shooting, as Floyd is fouled. And we've got a timeout. Holiday Big East hoops. First of 3 straight on FS1. And the Friars up by 9 on the Bulldogs. Of football on Fox, we've got a lineup of college hoops for you here on FS1. And a tale of 2 6-minute segments to start this game.
Yeah, and you know, we can hear Thad Matta telling us, guys, new game. We're in this game. Get off to a tough start. But that's kind of what you get from a veteran team. I don't think we would have seen that. Again, all due respect to players, you know, the Bulldogs from last year's team, but this is a different team for Thad Matta. They're veterans. They've been probably in a lot of these situations, maybe not to start a game and maybe not to have 3 planes break on them, but they've been down. They've had some adversity, and you've seen how this team has fought back so far. A lot of game to play, but they've shown a lot of toughness, a lot of heart so far, Butler.
You talked roster teardown, only 9% of their scoring, 9% of their minutes played, returning from last season's team. To the corner, it's Gaines. He cannot miss. Ticket Gaines.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It was crowded in that area for Brooks, so he went to help on the drive, and some guys you just have to stay home on and hope you have help behind you.
14 threes combined in his first 10 games. And in the first 2 of Big East play, Gaines has 8. Alexander got a step-on duel.
Yeah, it was a nice misdirection. He looked like the big was popping out at the top, and just nice little change of direction to get downhill. This is interesting. Devin Carter has not attempted a shot in this game.
Gaines again.
Wow.
How could you leave him open? He is scalding hot. Telford on the back down. Jameel Telford gets it to go.
It's a tough one. You're probably not going to live and die. Well, not live, but you might die with that play. Posting up and slowing everything down. That ball stops. But at this point, I think just trying to find a little momentum is what Butler's trying to do, whether it's in the post or off the dribble.
Jaden Pierre, the Friars, 7-3.
I just don't know how you continue to run at guys with your hands down. Especially a guy like DJ Davis who can shoot it. He knows he's had plenty of guys running him with their hand up. I mean, it's a shooting competition for Providence right now.
As Brooks is short. Here's Alexander gliding in, and he gets fouled by Gaines.
Well, it gets the body. It's that New York City right here. You drive, you hit the body, and then you try to finish. Watch the elevation Posh gets on this. Ooh, almost gets it to go. The thing that's awesome is his eyes never leave the rim.
Look, here's the other side of this, Donnie. On paper, Providence is just over 32% from 3 on the season, which is 8th in the Big East. But as you brought up, right before our Big East opener between the Friars and Marquette, when you flip the page to conference play, it's a whole new season, and this team has caught fire to start league play.
I mean, you've seen it all around the league. I mean, you know, your 3 ranked teams lose to start the season. Their openers, UConn to Seton Hall, Marquette here, obviously, you know, Creighton. I mean, you got, look, this is conference play. We've talked about it, what UConn did and conference play or did not do, and then what they did to finish the season. Big East is a different animal. Conference play in general for the power conferences is a different animal.
Gaines was so wide open, he was surprised. Only his second miss, 4 of 6 from downtown.
Now, you have to talk about, though, the 9 wins coming into conference play, non-conference for Butler, the most since 2019-20. It means something.
That's a foul on Alexander. That is his second. A great start to the year by this team.
Yeah, he's missed a couple of those point blank, and you just try to fight to go back and get it. You're not going to win that battle against Bryce Hopkins, though. He's just too powerful down there once he gets his hands on it.
This Butler team beating Texas Tech in a thriller in the Big East Big 12 battle. Penn State, Boise State down in Orlando.
Yeah, last time they won 9 was our guy, LaVall Jordan's 22-19.
Devin Carter was his first field goal attempt, as you brought up moments ago. Here's Landon Moore. Out of control. Look at Gaines fight for it.
Boy, 2 strong guys right there, man. Woo. Those are some big, strong bodies, Telfort and Hopkins.
Here is Hopkins. Now he does go towards the rim, lost his footing. Carter. Brooks. Pierre Brooks, all 3.
Can't back off of that one, though. That's one guy you cannot give any space to. Once he gets it going, boy, he's good.
Butler fighting and clawing within single digits late in this first half. The big man taking in some Big East basketball before his big day. Providence up 9 on Butler behind hot 3-point shooting.
Hey, there's a common theme, John. When you watch these 3-pointers go down, no hand up, that was too late. Too much space here, there's 3 or 4 feet, and when you do recover, no hand up. I mean, there's no one within 5 feet of taking gains in that corner. And this is obviously Big East basketball. You know, you don't have to be Steph Curry to make wide open threes in this game. Guys work so hard at that, but you got to do something if you're Butler to make it a little bit more difficult. If you're not running guys off the 3-point line, you got to at least put a hand in their face, John. At least run past them. Right now, in this first half so far, Providence is just probably for that amount of too comfortable behind that 3-point arc.
Ticket Gaines with 9 combined triples in his last 2 games.
So that would tell you in the scouting report, you know what? You got to find him, especially in the corners. He loves to find those short corner threes.
And that seems to be infectious right now to the rest of the Friars. Oduro getting in on the action, and 47% from 3. Providence with 7 triples. They're 4-0 this year when they hit at least 10. So here is Pierre. And the turnover. Butler recovering in this game. They were down 15-0. Pierre Brooks is big time.
And getting a stop, forcing a bad shot, steal, whatever it might be, contesting a shot even, a miss, it allows Butler to get downhill.
Off to Pierre. He's off.
But nice job with the challenge. That's the difference there. It's a different look when you got a big running at you, because that's what you're focused on as a shooter and not so much just the rim.
We do In the Huddle with the coaches. It's At the Table with Coach Marshall.
We allow you in that. We allow everyone at home in that all the time.
Davis. Look at these Bulldogs. They're right back in it.
DJ Davis is special. We saw earlier he believes he has that range. He has a beautiful stroke. Big-time scorer.
Transfer from UC Irvine. Just a microwave. He was in that mode in that win over Texas Tech earlier this year. 10 on the shot clock. Providence hasn't scored in over 3 minutes. Hopkins. Way off. Duel with the offensive rebound. That's an offensive foul.
How about that? Duel doing a nice job with the offensive rebound. We probably didn't need the shoulder, but DJ Davis, smart play. And you give up a little position. Takes it right to the chest, and then here you got to overplay that because that's the scouting report. Devin Carter just overplayed it too much.
Butler on a 10-0 run. Shot clock down to 12. Bolden Kapke is checked in for Butler. Brooks, Pierre Brooks, from a minimal role at Michigan State a year ago to averaging 16 per game at Butler, and they're within 2.
I talked to him before the game, stood next to him. He's a big boy. He's got some, I mean, he is 6'6", 230, strong. There's no shot he doesn't like out there on the floor.
Ticket Gaines is short. Took some contact and went down into the front row.
But another good contest leads to a miss.
Adjustments from the Bulldogs. Shot clock is trimmed to 10. Butler has not scored in 4 minutes. Carter breaks them out of it.
And that's just the overplay at the three-point line, and a heads-up play by Devin Carter to recognize no shot blocker inside because the defense is extended to the perimeter.
That ends a 12-0 Butler run.
I mean, look, it's the same thing on this end. You got to get downhill. No shot blockers for Providence.
It's Telford. Northeastern transfer, now Moore with 5. Landon Moore got 2 fryers in the air, counted him a foul.
And if there are no shot blockers, what that means is you have guys who are trying to imitate shot blockers, and you just give them a little shot fake. Look at that. What sets it up is the 2-foot jump stop. Now you're under control. Get 2 guys in the air and a chance to get to that foul line and knock one down.
1.5 for Moore. He's got 8 points. He's only done that 2 other times this season. And the response, Donnie, for Butler, those mechanical issues for their plane, which led to them flying the morning of this game. And here they are after falling behind 15-0. Carter with a spin, that was pretty.
Again, another great job recognizing that's that basketball IQ of Devin Carter. No shot blocker inside, getting us to the rim.
10-second difference between shot and game clock. Davis behind his back. Throws it over to Moore. Kapke heaves. In and out. Providence can hold for the final shot. This place rises to its feet. Sold out crowd. Carter with 3. Blocked by Telford. Davis with a heave. That takes us to the break.
Tell you what, after a very slow start, jet lag legs, Thad Matta's guys, his veterans, got these guys right back into the game.
Coming up on the Jeep Halftime Report, we'll preview today's other top matchups, and we'll have first half stats and analysis from Los Angeles. The Providence Friars, 9-0 when leading at the half this year, but Butler responded in a big way, and we got a 4-point game. After this, Mike Hill and LaVall Jordan, they're coming up. We'll return the arena for stats. Schultz has the Christmas dance moves.
Holiday spirit, man. And I'm with my guy, John Fanta. I always feel good when I'm with Fanta.
That's right. Look at our game summary. The Bulldogs with quite the bounce back.
Yeah, they hung around, and that's Thad Matta being a veteran, said, hey, teams are going to make their runs. We have to weather the storm, and they did just that.
It was interesting. We were talking during the half about some of the other things that changed. Ticket Gaines has had a fantastic day for Providence. When Josh Oduro went out with those 2 fouls, what did it change?
Well, it changes that the idea that you have to pay attention to what's inside in terms of helping down low, because Oduro has moves. He's almost like a point center in the interior, meaning he makes so many great decisions in the post. Without him in the game, now you can stay home if you're Butler defensively, and it closes down those gaps of shooters for Providence.
Pierre Brooks with 11 to lead the Bulldogs. Here's Telford. Only 2 points in the opening half. 1 for 6 from the floor. And Make it 1 for 7 as Oduro stood him up.
Good job by Telford trying to go at the big, trying to pick up another foul on him. And Oduro just putting those hands straight up.
Carter switches a contested triple.
And so now you're contesting, but you're contesting a guy who knows how to knock those shots down this season in Devin Carter. Had a quiet first half. Ball's got to pop.
10 on the shot clock for Brooks, the lead scorer for the Bulldogs.
Tell you what, ooh, you give him any space. He's so strong. He's got a powerful low body, can really elevate once he gets into the paint, has that beautiful in-between game as well. So they say he can score at all 3 levels, 3, mid-range, and at the rim.
Hopkins with some space. Bryce Hopkins attacks the rim.
That's how you finish strong. Boy, oh boy, he has great, they talk about great elevation and extension.
Telford with a teardrop. Offensive rebound for Thomas. And a foul.
And John, you talked about it in the first half. We talked about the struggles of Bryce Hopkins from 3 and just seeing the ball go through the rim. Even it's this pick, slip, defense comes late. And you're not winning that battle, and probably fortunate, Jalen Thomas, that he didn't get that foul in the and one.
Davis. A lot of runners for Butler right in that middle zone to start the second half.
I think it's a shot you need to play basketball these days. You need a little floater. I don't think it's a bailout on a jump shot. It's just a necessity in the game today. If you don't have a floater, it's hard to stay on the floor as a scorer.
What happened when you took those?
They just weren't a shot when I played. Some guys did it. You know, Mark Jackson was the only guy you saw taking those shots, and he was in the NBA at the time. If you weren't shooting a jump shot, you came out of the game.
Brooks. Pierre Brooks is on fire. 16 points.
I mean, again, we saw him on the mid-range. We saw him shooting a 3, made one earlier. I mean, this kid, he hasn't shown it in his career, hasn't gotten an opportunity, but he is a big-time scorer.
That's the word. Pierre can't hit. Oduro with the offensive rebound. Carter heaves. In and out. It's such a good word by you. Opportunity. He said in the preseason, look, I am motivated. I am fired up because everybody's counting me out. It didn't work out at Michigan State. Now Thad is giving me that chance.
I remember Kenny Smith on TNT that he told me as a rookie, just because you don't play doesn't mean you can't play. And I think Pierre Brooks feels that. Just because he didn't get an opportunity doesn't mean he can't play. He's showing everybody that he's got game. I mean, just airspace. Telford, great job driving. And that's a great contest as well. But you've heard me say it, great offense beats great defense every day of the week.
First foul on Jalen Thomas. Oduro from the elbow. Now here's Alexander. Just that spurt ability, but out of control this time, and Oduro threw it to nobody.
And I don't think the officials are calling that for Posh Alexander because he's creating all the contact. He's, you know, defense is going straight up, if not backwards. I know but that's his game. He wants to get that contact into you and try to get himself to the foul line. It's a smart play, and eventually I think an official is going to see something there, and it probably will be a player putting in their arms down. Won't be as much body, but that's just the game he plays. It's well scouted by the Friars on his drives.
Carter comes off for a bit with Floyd on. For Providence, here is Alexander. Posh Alexander willed it in, and Butler's within a possession.
Not that, the little big man. He stays on his feet, little shot fake, and finishes.
Since being down 15-0, Butler 40-27. Gaines. short, and after his hot start, he's cooled off. And don't look now, but the Butler Bulldogs have come on the road, and after some jet lag, they've refueled the plane. Look at a beat. There's only one. They're in the Christmas spirit in Rhode Island, but Providence's lead has been cut to 2. He has scored in double figures every game this season. It's the Dogs, Pierre Brooks.
Pierre doing a great job of scoring at every level there. Takes and that's a big body he's running into in Bryce Hopkins. To the rim, one level, mid-range, next level, and then here with an extended hand of Ticket Gaines, knocking it down, just not afraid to take big shots, and obviously has made some big ones to get his team back in this game.
Pierre Brooks II, transferring from Michigan State to Butler, and he's been so consistent.
Double figures in every game he's played in this season. I mean, really, he's not afraid. And sometimes, you know, we know players transfer for a lot of reasons, whether it's NIL, better opportunities financially. I know it sounds weird saying that, but that's the way the game has changed. And you know, sometimes you genuinely go to another place for an opportunity to show what you have, and obviously that's what's happening with Pierre Brooks at Butler.
Look, sometimes guys will go some significant level down. It's Big Ten to Big East.
Yeah.
That's not the case. Screen on the back down.
Would have liked for him to not hesitate when he saw Floyd Jr. on the spin.
The three gives Butler the lead.
And again, DJ Davis, obviously Posh, Alexander getting downhill, Pierre Brooks scoring at all 3 levels, DJ Davis from deep. There are some scorers, big-time scorers, playmakers on this Butler team this year.
Butler was down 15-0, and they've got the edge on the road. Oduro working on screen, and now a foul comes in from Tony Chiazza at the last second on screen.
You know, Screen missing this shot, you tend to think, wow, he had a bunny, but what a great screen set by Posh Alexander for DJ Davis to get an open 3. That was the play to me that made that happen. Well, just a little handoff and a screen by Posh Alexander.
And a third foul now on screen, which brings Oduro to the line. 83% on the year.
Now, Screen is so long and athletic, you'd like to see him give a little bit of space when bigger guys like Oduro, even in this game, Bryce Hopkins, try to get into your body. You know who does that really well? One of the best in the league is Ryan Kalkbrenner. Because he already has the length and the size, he gives you some space so you can't get into him and he can block that shot. Donovan Clingan, another one of those guys. Samson Johnson, who's maybe not that strong at UConn, can back up, give you space, and then block it. I shouldn't say not that strong. I should say not as strong, because you got Oduro's got some weight to him. Hopkins has some weight to him.
Providence back with the edge. 2 lead changes on the day. Butler just took their first moments ago. They get it back. Pierre Brooks has 18. Hopkins looking to Oduro. Oduro on the baseline. Screen with those 3 fouls. Josh Oduro a little bit off.
I don't mind the shot. I would like to see him try to get that 4th on screen instead of falling away. You know, if you're Oduro, because that'll alleviate a lot of stress for you, because you're in also Oduro's also in some foul trouble. Posh is so good working downhill. Corey Floyd, just sometimes when the offensive player is lower than you, that's why you're always taught defensively to get low, try to be lower than the ball, or bad things happen.
Here is Screen on an island with Oduro. Screen using some muscle. Oduro shut him down, but then fouled him. And now Josh Oduro has 3 fouls.
And so we go back to the other play where Oduro falls away. If you go into the chest to screen, now screen is sitting down and you're not in this position. Now it's not only playing the play that is in front of you or thinking the play that's in front of you, it's thinking the next play or the next possession. And, you know, Oduro, I thought, let screen off the hook with the fall away, the previous offensive possession. And now here we go. A little chess match happening on that sideline with the coaches. Who's going to break? Who's going to take their big out first?
Now this crowd is going so crazy because if you miss 2 consecutive free throws and you're on the visiting team, everybody gets free coffee.
Well, where's the coffee from? Is it from the media room? Because I had some of that earlier. I'm not sure they want that. Hopefully it's from, I would say, a local 7 Stars, Baker's Dozen. We drink out here in Rhode Island.
You know what?
Dunks.
We'll show up in January. There'll be a full-on Nespresso machine for Donnie Marshall.
There you go.
Carter drills it. And just like that, 2 missed free throws. That bucket. Listen to this place. Alexander, offensive foul.
2 things get your crowd going, especially in this building. Big 3-pointers, but maybe even more defensive possession stops. And this is the guy that's going to get it for you. Devin Carter might have been a little out of position, but the extended arm of Posh Alexander made it an easy one for the officials to call. Nice little fall away there from Carter, shoulder square. And by the way, there are no students at the game today. They are on vacation. So
Kim English says when the students are away, it's like an NBA playoff crowd. They're 45-3 in their last 48 home games. Are these Friars? Carter. Shot clock is down to 7. Hopkins. He's trying to get it to go, as you've been talking about.
Look, as energizing as that turnover might have been, only the second one for Butler. You mentioned it. They do not give the ball away.
Moore. Landon Moore with a breakout game, just his 3rd in double figures this year.
Tell you what, Butler, no matter what happens in this game, they have put the rest of the league on notice with their scores.
Pierre was stopped. This team was picked 10th in the Big East. Ask Marquette how that goes. They were picked 9th last year and won it. And now Screen, rather Thomas, who's checked in, is fouled.
How about the pass by Telfort? You get into the paint, you recognize a mismatch down low, throw it to your big. I mean, Telfort's the one we have not talked about, but could be really the most valuable piece of this Butler team. He's got great size. He does everything for them. Their vocal leader. Physically, you see what you're working with. Really is the glue of this Butler team.
You said it as well. Here's DJ Davis. He's short. When you have older guys, as much as they're newcomers to the program, their resolve in this game as Carter is fouled after the tough start. And Van Mata said it. Hey, fellas, I don't want to hear one excuse about a plane. We're here to play basketball. You did it in AAU days where you just show up and go. He's got those types of guys.
You have older guys who have been through a lot of adversity in their career. You know, a lot of scar tissue, if you will. So just add that to the mix of it. No one's going to feel sorry for you, especially once you get on the floor.
Oduro with a beautiful move.
Tell you what, so far, Kim English has won the chess match with leaving your big on the floor with foul trouble.
He is riding him. Shot clock is down to 10. They've gone nowhere thus far on this possession. Moore, it's at 5. Moore with the teardrop. Wow!
I can't tell you, John, how impressed I am with Moore and Davis, obviously Pierre Brooks. This Butler team has some weapons, folks.
Hopkins off again. He's 0 for 5 from 3. Moore has matched his season high with 12. And now Moore is way out of control, and here comes Hopkins. Hopkins will go to the line.
I like the no call. Moore a little out of control at that end, but Bryce Hopkins doing what he does so well. But the transfer, sometimes you bring some shoes with you. You bring maybe some furniture with you. Kim English brought the big fella with him from his last stop. We got a game, folks.
Woo! Bulldogs have a 1-point lead on Providence. Let's go in the huddle with the Friars, Kim English.
Yo, right now, this is all I want to see. Transition, you get to the rim, get to the rim. He got fouled, he had Devin. And that's our transition attack. If that's not there, all I want to see, drag, throw back, throw it.
It's smart, and I'll tell you a few reasons why. One, to me, mindless basketball is what you need in a tight game, meaning you don't want your guys to have to think about 18 different plays. One play, get downhill, you put the pressure on the refs, one, but also you use your size and strength and the foul issues that Butler's having inside. Two, defenses collapse, now you can throw it out to your shooters.
You brought that up earlier today with Kim English. He said, look, we don't run 500 sets.
Yeah.
We're principle-based. Make the right basketball play. What does that mean?
It just means I want my guys playing free. I don't want them looking over their shoulder every time up and down the floor to see what play we're running. Keep it simple for them, and if those plays continue to work, we're going to keep going to them now. If you meet a team that gets multiple stops, then now you have to adjust. But, you know, you have the right pieces out here to be able to continue to run those same plays and little wrinkles off of those plays.
Let's flip to the other side for a moment. How has Butler gotten the lead?
Yeah, getting stops, one. Contesting shots better as Bryce Hopkins comes up empty there. So his shooting struggles continue. Even more important for him to continue to get downhill and get to the rim. And you got scorers. If you're Butler, you have guys who can really put the ball in the basket, and a great floor general in Posh Alexander.
Thomas fouled underneath by Carter. To your point, Bryce Hopkins, Providence's leading scorer and rebounder, top 5 in the Big East in both columns. He has 8 points, 4 for 12 from the floor, 0 for 5 from 3. So can he get going? Telford, Moore, Thomas, Alexander, Bizjack on the floor for Butler. Telford. 1 for 8 today. And Hopkins stopped him.
Bizjack in the game, a sensational freshman.
Butler. Flying, the freshman.
How about that? Turning a miss into a fast break point, taking what your coach Kim English told you in the timeout. How about the vision? You know, no one picks up the ball. Devin Carter's dribbling free. He's got vision, and this is a guy you really like. I know you've talked a lot about him off the air.
Upside.
Boy.
Upside. 7 assists last game, 2. Yeah, not a single turnover.
Athleticism as well. The presence of mind to go finish instead of trying to dunk. Sometimes players want the highlight and they miss the play.
It'll stay with Butler. Friars back up by a pair.
Again, you got a Butler team who is, you're not going to get them kind of out of pocket. You know, they're going to stay within themselves. The crowd's not going to get under their skin at all.
When you go down 15-0 in this building and recover from that. Shot clock's at 10. Thomas.
It's good D by Providence. That's a shot you'll take. You're right, John. I mean, I'd say it's like driving in Rhode Island. If you can drive in Rhode Island without an accident, you can drive anywhere in the world. If you can withstand being down 15-0 in this building and come back, you can play anywhere.
Hopkins stuck. Telford with great defense. Shot clock's at 3. Abdul behind the back. Just a bit off. Well, Mike Tranghese. Oh, Carter saves it. Hopkins gets to it. And Providence with some improbable hustle.
We have talked about Devin Carter shooting the ball so well from three, leading this team. This is what makes him who he is. The deflection and giving up his body, saving that ball. I mean, that is just, to me, right there embodies Providence basketball. Well, that gets the crowd into it. Can't say enough. There aren't enough positive things that you can say in one game about Devin Carter. Gives you everything that you would want from a coaching perspective. Guy's had 3 coaches in his career. Probably 9 or 10 different assistant coaches. And continues to give that level of play is phenomenal. Devin Carter.
By the way, he's got another coach in Pops.
And then, that one you got to listen to every night.
Landon Moore. Some home cooking for the rims for the Friars. And here's Alexander, though. Alexander, what a dish to Thomas, and he couldn't connect.
Wow.
That got you out of your seat.
Swanky P is what I call him. Pass Alexander. Oh, big fella just couldn't pay it off. The hustle to keep it alive, and then the dime. Wow.
Nearly came up with the steal. Now they got numbers. Hopkins, Thomas said no way. Up to Alexander. Alexander lost it.
You got to give that ball up sooner if you're more, though.
Hopkins with a head of steam and a foul on Vince Jack Butler in the penalty.
Moore's got to understand you got to give that ball up to Alexander sooner. The defense will recover, then you get it back. But this right here, the block, a little wristy on that block. I get it, the refs aren't that tall, they can't see that far, sometimes they're that high, but great contest, great challenge. It kills me because as a player who loves to be on that receiving end for dunks and finishes, you got to give that ball up if you're more. Give it to Posh, let him now give it back to you. And I think Posh Alexander told him that. Every possession is so very important on the road.
Now can Hopkins hit the front end? 0 for 2 from the line to start. And he does. Before that hectic scramble, we were talking about this atmosphere. Former Big East Commissioner Mike Tranghese, who's a Providence faithful advisor. He told Kim English when Kim got this job, Kim, you'll love these people. This is how they get through the winter. Lead back to 4. Pierre checks back in for Providence. DJ Davis back in for Butler, as is Andre Screen with those 3 fouls.
It'll be interesting to see what Butler gets out of this with no shot blockers inside. He finished the half that way.
Telford, he's been cold today. Telford and 1!
Wow. We talked about him earlier, about what he does for this team, the glue, but this right here is a grown-up move. And I love Devin Carter. He just gives up too much weight and maybe a couple of inches. Wow, that is just strength.
I know you appreciate this. Where does he come from? Bill Cohen in Northeastern.
Yeah, toughness. You know, you're always one of those underdogs, having to prove who you are every single time you touch the floor.
John Fanta, Donnie Marshall with you from Providence. More Big East hoops coming up. Seton Hall coming off that thrilling win over UConn, visiting the Xavier Musketeers. Followed by Villanova and DePaul. Action-packed day of Big East basketball here on FS1. Carter with 6. Carter with the right hand, and Pierre Brooks with great defense. Davis with the right hand. DJ Davis with some swagger.
You don't have to just show me a lot of points to show me you can score. It's in the moves. It's in your movements offensively and your finishes. That's a big-time scorer right there, DJ Davis.
Hopkins with screen on him. That's a foul on screen. That's his fourth. Big moment with Andre's screen committing his fourth. Merry Christmas, everybody. Santa's in town. The kids are ready. The kids are ready for Christmas in Friartown. Butler has tied this game up at 53. The Bulldogs putting up a great fight on the road.
Yeah, the belief. Again, veterans. Thad Matta told us he's got his guys, his type of player. Now, you know, some guys go fishing, some guys go golfing. Thad Matta went portaling. That's what he did in the offseason, and he came back with some pretty good pieces. And they're showing that not only can they score the ball, they're competing.
Stat Comparison is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see, you know, guys digging down. I think sometimes in modern basketball, players don't necessarily, they want to work hard, they don't know how necessarily to work hard for whatever reason. Well, this Butler team, both teams have really found ways to dig deep and continue to fight for one another. It's awesome. It's awesome to watch.
Look, it helps when you have a guy on the sidelines who's won 73% of the games he's coached in.
That helps. And, you know, for Providence, you got to... I once heard an older coach when he retired said, you know, it's a young coach's game.
Yeah.
Now with the NIL and the portal, I think it's just a player's coach's game. You know, a guy who's close with his players, who really understands and can really associate with what the players are going through. And that's what Kim English is both. He's a young coach and he's a player's coach.
Rough free throw shooting, but Oduro yet again with one of those plays. A tip back to give the Friars the lead back.
Yeah, rough free throw shooting. 3 for 11 on the other side. For Butler, they're 79% from the line, and Thad Matta's going to need them to make some here down the stretch.
Shocking. DJ Davis has game.
You know, I always like to mix it up, get guys competing. Tell you what, our stat guy today, Ray Perry, I'm putting everybody on notice. I don't know if there's anyone much better than him, Fanta.
Nobody better.
Giving us some great info. Other stat guys, you're on notice. Ray is the best.
There's Gaines with the dish from Oduro.
Problem is, when I do other games, the stat guys are going to say, oh, where's Ray today? You don't have Ray Perry with you today. Ask him for your numbers.
Ray's not thinking about Christmas dinner yet.
No.
Davis. Shot clock's down to 7. Thomas with the hand. Davis got fouled. He'll go on the line to try to give Butler the lead.
That's a tough one. I think Thomas might need the assist here. He kind of got tangled up with Bryce Hopkins. Take a look right here. You see the arm in there from Hopkins. And yeah, he's fighting through. Boy, that is... I got to give Thomas the credit there for kind of gumming that up and allowing DJ Davis to... Smart play by DJ Davis to elevate. Bryce Hopkins, wrong place, wrong time.
Davis, 95% from the free throw line on the year. He's 37 for 39.
Might as well just give him a layup. You go here. Everyone just take 2 and let's get back on defense.
How about this Butler team? Entering at 10-2. You're picked second to last in the Big East, and they put that on the locker room wall right away.
Marquette can appreciate that. But again, it's, you know, I think Kim English told us before the game, he's not on any social media, he doesn't pay attention to any of that, how great they are, how bad they are. I think Thad Matta's the same way. The only expectations that matter are the ones you have in that locker room. I know for a lot of guys who play and have been around the game, it's a cliche, but it's the most important thing. Only worry about what you guys think about yourselves, not what the rest of the world thinks.
9 lead changes 4 ties. Carter at 22 last game. A little quieter today. They turn it over. Alexander was flying up the floor. Davis with the fake. Davis finds Telford. Jameel Telford, the Bulldogs are up 3.
Tell you what, Telford had the hands ready. DJ Davis had nowhere to go, but it started with Brooks throwing the ball ahead to Alexander. Let him make the decision.
Wow, this Butler team's lost their last 6 meetings with Providence. They want to change that this afternoon. Tell you, Providence has won 45 of their last 48 home games. But Butler has them against the wall right now with just over 5 minutes left off this sequence.
All starts with Swanky P. Look at this, the poke away. He got called for one earlier, but Pierre Brooks does a nice job. Throw it ahead to your point guard. Let him be the decision maker. DJ Davis gets away with one, gets hung in the air, but Bryce Hopkins really in a home run trot back to help. And the interior loses Telford. And that to me could be the play of the game. Just because you get something off of a broken play where Providence thinks they got you covered, and now Butler's up 3, and when you're Providence, you're one of your last 14 from 3. You're starting to question a little bit with that clock running down.
What a turnaround for this Butler team. They were down 15-0. If you're just joining us, they had to fly for this game this morning. Mechanical issues with their plane last night. They slept in Indy. They hopped on a 7:30 a.m. flight. They made it here, and wow, have they answered the bell. Oduro, ticket gains, and the rebound to Brooks.
Really nice job out of the timeout to double. Make Oduro be a passer out of there, especially, just to change the look up. Thomas can guard it, but you change up his look. Speed him up.
Davis to the corner. Brooks. Short. Rebound for Thomas. Here's Alexander. Swirling around. Brooks. Short, and they come up with the stop.
All right, when you play with Posh Alexander, just move. He's going to keep that dribble alive. You just got to get to your open spots. He'll find you.
Butler with 3 timeouts. Providence with 2. Free throws from here. Both teams in the bonus. Shot clock is at 8. Providence with just 1-3 in the second half. Oduro with 4. Carter heaves. Prayer answered. Tied.
And Devin Carter, when he ran past Josh Oduro getting off the floor, he said, "I'm with you. Give it to me. Give it to me." That is a big-time play right there by Devin Carter.
Big East basketball. Davis is off. And here come the Friars. And this place is ready for him. Oduro, and he's fouled by Thomas.
So smart down low. Josh Oduro. Devin Carter leading his Providence Friar team. Big shot over Posh Alexander here. Bottoms. Woo!
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Mike
Christmas
Hill.
Thrill.
It's a good one here. We're tied with 3.5 to go, and a full day of Big East basketball. Mike just talked about what's up next with Seton Hall and Xavier over on Fox at 3 Eastern time. How about a top 15 showdown out in Vegas? And then tonight on Fox Primetime Hoops, Gus and Jimmy have St. John's and number 5 UConn.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Patino back. A lot of history there, but our game, look at the guys getting it done at the top. Brooks, Davis, Moore, and then for Providence, Gaines, Oduro, Carter. I still think that if you're Kim English, you have to tell Bryce Hopkins, be ready to score, be ready to shoot the basketball. There's some demons going on right now with my young guy. He's got to continue to stay confident and talk himself through this. They're going to need in this last 3:39 to play with some confidence and lead. And that, to me, is a true sign of a leader. When you're struggling, to be able to give your team something besides scoring the ball or making shots, I think he can do that.
Josh Oduro with 13 points, 13 rebounds, his second double-double of the year. How about 6 assists?
Yeah, he is like a point center down there from the free throw line and below. Such a great decision maker.
83% free throw shooter.
Sometimes, you know, when you get late, you can throw out. Games get tight. Shot score, the time gets down. You can throw out the numbers of what guys are shooting, and both teams struggling from the free throw line today.
That's right.
Man, oh man.
Another miss for a 83% free throw shooter. Providence 7 of 16 from the line. Butler is 6 for 14.
Interesting to see what they run here. Thad was leaning into his assistants pretty heavily in that last time out.
Brooks on the back down. It does.
They didn't need all of that. You know, once you get away with the first bump, you got to back off and maybe elevate. Refs aren't going to allow that a second time. That's a terrific, it's an easy call, but it's a terrific call, especially this late in the game. They'll give you the first one, second one, and I like the play call. He'll throw it downstairs. You know he's much stronger than whoever's guarding him from that guard position.
What's at stake here? Winner goes to 2-0 in the Big East. And to 11-2 heading into Christmas. Carter, he knew he missed it. Wow. And he got his own miss as a result. He's stuck in the corner and will call a timeout. Providence has 1 left.
That's why coaches tell you to box out. The first guy that knows it's going to be a miss is the shooter.
He knew it right away, Donnie. He was running to the baseline. Butler with 3 timeouts left. Both these teams shooting free throws from here. Double bonus for Providence, single for Butler. What do you think the remaining 3:04 comes down to?
You know, one, taking care of the basketball, pretty simple. Take care of the basketball, and you got to make your free throws. If Thad said that in a timeout, looks, you got to imagine 15-0 run for Providence to start this game, and then from that 5-minute mark or that 15-minute mark, it was 33-22 Butler, and really pretty much this second half they've had their way inside. Some foul trouble here and there, but I think taking care of the ball and making your free throws is going to be the difference for both sides.
An area where both have struggled at around 40% from the line today. John Fanta, Donnie Marshall with you from Rhode Island. Providence has 40 home wins over the last 3 seasons. That is the most in college basketball. Butler 0-6 in their last 6 meetings with the Friars, trying to end that drought today. Here is Pierre with 7. He turned it over. Thomas comes up with it.
Only their 7th of the day, but really unforced.
Davis, DJ Davis.
I love it. I saw Mike Pegues, the assistant for Butler, talking to DJ Davis in that timeout, and the assistants are so important. I mean, that's why you have assistants. As a coach, you can burden them with your issues and anxieties. He's got a great staff over there at Thad Matta.
Hopkins got it back. Gaines is open. He's short. Hopkins with the offensive rebound. Hopkins puts it back. We're tied.
Keep your head in a good spot. Team needs you. One of the leaders of this Providence team, and that is a huge offensive rebound and put back by Bryce Hopkins.
Pierre Brooks. Brooks was shut down by Gaines. They get it to Thomas, and a foul is called on Oduro. That is his 4th.
How about the play from Brooks? This is the first Butler play. 2 plays ago, DJ Davis going to that strong hand, and Bryce Hopkins so strong. The elevation and the putback, that's a man's move. And on this end, it was awesome. Pierre Brooks got blocked. Take a look. Falls, presence of mind from his butt. The tap pass to Thomas, and that was a huge play as well. You got to stay with the play even when you're on your fanny.
Jalen Thomas has been to the line 9 times all season. He's made 7 of them. 1 and 1. has it.
Tell you, when guys are doing anything else but working on free throws, all you have to do is go back to a game like this and say, it's not that hard to work on these shots, fellas. We need to make shots late games to win them.
Here's Oduro with those 4 fouls. Josh Oduro with 6. Oduro with 5. Oduro with 3. Put back for Carter. Down the chimney he came. Brooks is stuffed. Foul is called. He'll go on the line for 2.
You can't fall asleep. Devin Carter just reads the play, so smart, anticipates where this ball's coming off. And he's just so strong. Wow, tough one there. Brooks trying to find somebody. Didn't find the body, but was hit on the arm.
69% free throw shooter, his first attempt of the day, and it's good. 1:10 to go. Butler with 3 timeouts. Providence with 1. Both teams in the double penalty. Cold-blooded from Brooks, and we're even.
I mean, I don't care what. Again, you got to throw out the percentages this time of the game and put your best scorers, get them to that foul line.
Final minute here in Providence. What a game. Oduro. Long. It leaks out to Davis, and the Bulldogs have it.
Done a lot of things right. I don't like it this stage of the game.
Bam Mata uses the timeout. He's got 2 left.
Yeah, Oduro kind of let the defense off the hook there. Also, you took it easy on the officials. This is when you keep the pressure on the strikes.
So, a tie game. 19-second difference between shot and game here. 45 seconds to go. Take us through what Butler should be looking to do after we take a look at this.
Look, this is good defense. That's Thomas just baiting Oduro into taking a jump shot and then contesting it late. That could be one of the best defensive plays of the game because you made Providence do what you wanted them to do, and now you have an opportunity to come down and really take control of this game.
What's your offensive drop?
I think you're not in a rush. If you're Thad and you're telling your guys, if you have a good shot, if it's what we usually have in our offense, you don't need to force anything. That ball's got to be in Posh Alexander's hands, and everyone else, get those hands ready, move without the basketball, and we're going to play basketball. I don't think you got to alleviate some pressure. Take the pressure off your guys with 45 seconds to go.
How about Pierre Brooks with 20?
Look, they have so many weapons. Would love to see it in his hand late because he's so strong and he can score in so many different ways. He's not one-dimensional. We saw that. He's proved that to us all game long. Knocked down a couple of free throws. I would not be surprised if the ball ends up in his hand late clock. Such a special scorer.
The leader for this Butler team. Alexander with 10 rebounds, matching a career high. DJ Davis with 17, Landon Moore with 12, and that's just it. You said it. It's not like they have to go to Brooks. They have options. Rebounds even. This score even. Big difference between 2-0 in the Big East and 1-1.
Teams are shooting the ball better from 3 than they are at the foul line today.
Any fouls mean 2 free throws for either side. Davis, got to step on goal. DJ Davis! My goodness, DJ! In 1.
Wow. Take a look at this. The double clutch was never in a hurry. Man. That is just a big-time play, recognized, no one in the interior.
And he's a 95% free throw shooter.
Boy, oh boy. Remember, turned his ankle. Didn't play most of that game, their last game against Georgetown. Talked to him before the game, asked him how he felt. He said, great, and obviously he does.
He's got 20. Here's Pierre. Providence with 1 timeout left. Haven't taken it thus far. Oduro surveying. Now Oduro's going to take it to the basket. And he finishes with 11.8. And a timeout called by Providence. That is Kim English's last.
Really heads-up play there by Oduro. I like it. Remember his previous play, he shot a jump shot, maybe took the easy way out here. Get into that 2-foot jump stop, and when you got a shot blocker in front of you, all you got to do is hesitate a little bit. Heads-up play. We talked about Josh Oduro being one of those guys who kind of calms your offense down, can make great decisions as an interior player, and backs it up on that play there.
So 11.8 seconds left. Providence out of timeouts. Oduro, Carter with 4 fouls apiece. Butler with 2. So they elected to go for the 2. You still have a lot of time on that clock. Enough. What's the process here?
Look, I think in this situation, anybody not named DJ Davis, you have to foul quick. I just don't think you can let that ball get up the floor and waste too much time getting that ball back.
Speaking of DJ Davis, he's announced himself today.
He really has. Again, didn't play most of the game against Georgetown. Turned his ankle, but came back tonight. I mean, he's not limping, making some tremendous plays, great body control, the recognition there. You know, this isn't a team either that, we talked to Kim English before the game. You know, guys make threes, and the insecurity of telling 20,000 people in the building that they just made a 3 by poking their head with threes or whatever, that's an insecurity. The guys on this Butler team haven't done that. They've made big plays and just hustled back defensively. DJ Davis being one of those guys. 20,000 people in the building saw you make a 3. You don't need to remind them I just made a 3, and I think there's something to be said about the maturity level of that.
Telford the inbounder. Telford surveying, gets it to Davis. Now the clock is trimmed to 9, and they do foul him.
Yeah, if you can't get a steal immediately, then you get a foul, what we talked about.
He will go to the free throw line. We're on the season. DJ Davis is 41 for 43.
And again, you know, sometimes that time and score, when it gets tight, gets late, you throw those numbers out the window, but he's 4 for 4. He's got a little bit of momentum, not just in this game, but being 4 for 4, but all season.
95%. Hard to throw that out.
Boy.
Unfazed.
And if you're Providence, you're going to be down 3. That ball's got to advance quick. Got plenty of time. No timeouts left. You got to advance it fast.
Do you foul up 3?
Yes, but obviously I'm sitting here with you, but I always believed you have to foul up 3. There's so much time to go in the game, and you get the ball back again once they make if they make both free throws.
Davis does. Providence no timeouts. They're 2 of 11 from 3 this half. Here's Pierre. Pierre driving. Pierre off to Ticket Gaines. Unbelievable! We're tied.
And this is why you foul. There's still time, 2.1 seconds, but that's why I believe you have to foul. And Ticket Gaines wide open. Posh Alexander couldn't close. And they went on a little drought, Providence, from behind the arc this second half compared to how they started the game. What a big, and that's why they've called him the Big Ticket, as he comes up with big moments. Ticket Gaines.
And it gave them their 10th 3 of the day. Okay, 2.1 seconds left now. Butler with it. What can you do with 2.1 seconds?
Yeah, you advance it. That ball gets to the middle of the floor, somewhere around half court. And now you find guys running up the wings. It's kind of the basic. Throw it to your biggest guy in the middle if you can get it there, or close to that logo, and then the wings flying. But you just don't have a lot of time. And sometimes these are desperation moments. But
you know, Donnie, sometimes we see this from teams. Butler does have a timeout. A team that'll get it to half court or get it to a certain point. Telford is the inbounder here. And Alexander, you've said it, he's got speed. 2.1 seconds left. Telford to Davis. DJ Davis for the win! Overtime in Friartown!
wow. It's a great job getting the ball as close to half court as you can, especially with DJ Davis turning towards the basket. Wow, how close was that? It's a little too high and too strong, and Presents are going to have to wait to be open, John.
Before we go to OT, we'll send it back to the studio with Mike Hill and Laval Jordan.
Wow, exciting stuff there.
It's a Donnie Marshall with you. How have we gotten here, D-Marsh?
It's a lot to unpack there, John Fanta. I think the first word that would come to mind is resilience by Butler. Easy to pack it in after you know the trip that they took to get here, and the airplanes and landing this morning, the resilience they have shown to fight back and to be in this game. And on Providence's side, you know, to kind of hit and then get hit back, and to now step back up and say we're going to take care of home to get to this point. And just a wonderful job, wonderfully coached game, wonderfully officiated game, just as important, but also obviously wonderfully played game by both sides.
Butler had to fly this morning. They got on a plane 7:30 a.m. after mechanical issues with their jet last night. Down 15-0 in this one. In this building, that's typically the end for you. But these dogs are different. And the tap belongs to the Friars. Here we go with 5 extra minutes of Big East basketball. Oduro playing with 4 fouls. Josh Oduro, 17 and 13.
Josh Oduro looking like a pro, looking like Joel Embiid down low, fading away. After that mid-range jump shot, he said, no more of that. I'm getting this thing, getting the defense on their heels, getting it downhill.
Telford can't answer. Carter with the board. Hopkins has been trying to get his shot going. He was stopped. Shot clock's down to 10, into the hands of Gaines. Pierre with 7. Pierre driving. Can't connect. And we got a foul. A foul on the Friars. It's on Davis.
Yeah, foul on Butler here. Look at
Butler
right side of your bottom of your screen right there. Just a little bit too much. And this is Josh Oduro. We talked about it. Transferred in. Kim English brought him with him. Said to us before the game, you know, they talk about going from mid-majors to power conferences. He said, really, the only difference is in the bigs and those young the young pros, you know, the one-and-doners. He's like, everything else is the same. Well, Josh Oduro, to me, is making a difference. Not just in this game, all season long.
Davis is second, and the Friars start OT with 4 straight. On an island is Telford. Just 3 of 12 today. Telford wills that in over Hopkins.
First part done. Needed a bucket. Now you need to stop if you're Butler. And I think the same holds true for Providence. You got to get downhill, get into the paint. Kim English told him that midway through the second half.
Carter hit that from Federal Hill. Alexander off to Thomas with a silencer. Punch for punch. Pierre. Gaines hit the clutch shot to tie it. Oduro's on an island. Oduro rules that island. Kim English is leaping in the air. Telford couldn't connect. Popped up to Carter. This place is ready to burst. Pierre pulls it out.
How about the maturity level? Jaden Pierre, last year he would have tried to shoot that ball. Terrific job.
Devin Carter! Making Christmas cookies for Santa! Telford! Unbelievable, Donnie!
Wow. Devin Carter putting this team on his back late in this game. 8 points in overtime for Devin Carter.
He's fouled by Alexander. Now Alexander is in pain and he's holding his shoulder. Oh boy.
I mean, that's just, again, it was what we saw a little bit of in the first half. The late hand, just, that's a tough guard for Thomas because you know Devin Carter has the speed, and Kim English at one point at the end of regulation was celebrating like he was actually a player, and then in overtime after one of Devin Carter's threes was jumping off the ground. I'd like to test his vert. It might be as good now as it ever had been for Kim English. He was getting up off the ground, celebrating.
Donnie, he played Devin Carter when he got this job. One-on-one to try to keep Carter on campus. Carter beat him. Kim begged him to stay. He's glad that he did. Timeout, Butler. Kim English wants to play. It's a Christmas party in Providence. Friars up 10. Providence and Butler went to overtime, and the Friars have outscored the Dogs 14-4 in this extra period.
Well, it's really been Devin Carter time, but I tell you what, Josh Oduro is going to make an argument for having a big hand in this as well. Carter, really nice job putting the team on his back. And the other part of this that I think was probably not by the coaches, but go on notice is that Josh Oduro is given opportunity. People stayed out of his way. You know, the Providence teammates have given him space to work down low. You don't crowd it. Now you just trust him to go one-on-one. And, you know, Devin Carter continues to grow in that leadership role, vocally and also through his play.
Want to tell you that Seton Hall and Xavier, they're currently on FS2 and will be next when we are done here. Devin Carter, Kim English said he's that dude. He just competes. And Oduro with a huge day, 19 points. And how about these season highs? Not to mention battling 4 fouls for about 15 minutes.
Well, that's another part of playing, being a veteran and understanding how to stay aggressive, stay connected without fouling out when you're in foul trouble.
Telfort. Oduro blocked it. And that's why they're one of the nation's best in shot blocking.
Yeah, Providence earned this lead with a minute to go, but it's hard not to imagine that just the disruption of the travel for Butler affected them late in this game.
Carter with 5. Devin Carter. You know he's got to take it. He's short this time. Here comes Brooks. Time a big factor now with them down 10. Moore got it to go. He got 30 seconds here. Have to foul, and they do. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Really nice move there. Obviously, Butler has shown the rest of the country that Mott has picked up some players over the summer. They just probably need a little bit more time to kind of get that together. Maybe a more reliable airplane is one. We'll start with that, and then. But they have some nice pieces, Butler.
That they do.
Man.
You said it. They showed everybody what they're capable of today.
It's hard to win on the road. It really is in conference play, but Butler's they're gonna win some games this year, folks.
Davis. And it's hard to win here. It is hard to win here because of this crowd. Carter calls to them. 46-3 in their last 49 home games. An unforgettable pre-Christmas present for the Providence Friars. A thrilling overtime win behind Carter and Oduro. Providence takes it 80.